In this video, I provide my 6 best tips for first-time buyers as of the making of this video. Let's get into the vid. Tip number 1, preparation. Preparing properly as a first-time buyer will lead you to mortgage success. There are 3 areas where you need to prepare properly. Area 1, documentation. Do you have either a UK passport or indefinite leave to remain, or permanent rights to reside, or settled status or pre-settled status? Do you have a full UK driving licence? You will need one of these for ID purposes. You're going to need to prove your address. If you don't have utility bills, then a bank statement is okay. Just make sure it does have your actual address on it. Don't send bank statements to your parents if you want a mortgage. It's going to cause you problems. Proof of income, 3 months pay slips, 2 years P60s if possible, and 3 months salary credited bank statements. Proof of deposit, no cash, as in paper money, no crypto. Stocks and shares ISAs are okay. Just be sure that you can prove every penny of where your deposit is coming from, or you're going to have a problem. Most importantly, make sure the spelling of your name on all of your documents matches your ID and that nothing is expired. Make sure your address is up to date. Area 2, your credit history. Gone are the days where you can just get a free credit score from ClearScore and know you're going to be okay for a mortgage. There are 3 credit agencies that mortgage lenders will use when credit scoring you. Some of them use more than one at the same time. So in this day and age, you have to know what's going on all 3 agencies, Experian, Equifax and TransUnion. The easiest way to do this is just to download a credit file from Check My File, as it has all 3 of them in one file and it's the easiest credit file to read. This will save you time and inconvenience of downloading them all 3 separately, and as well as saving some money as you may have to pay. You can download the file for free, cancel within 30 days, and it's £14.99 per month thereafter. The majority of the time there is always some type of error on one of these 3 credit agencies that you are not aware of. So get this looked into urgently, as it could stop you getting a mortgage later on. Area 3, continuous employment history. This is a real key area, and again, one I would not cut corners with. My preferred option is to have 12 months of continuous employment history. This could be with 2 different employers, as long as it's within the same industry and there are no gaps between leaving one job and starting the next. A day or 2 is okay. If you are trying to apply for a mortgage and you only have 1, 2 or 3 months employment history, then there are still mortgage lenders that will look at this. It just means your options will be reduced and the chance of success will be reduced. Tip number 2, mortgage affordability. You need to know how much you can borrow before you start the process of looking at properties, especially in today's market where we have so many changes to affordability models, with inflation reducing the amount you can borrow and the removal of stress testing increasing the amount you can borrow. It's not as simple as the good old 4.5 times your income anymore. Mortgage lenders have affordability calculators that are identical to the ones that the underwriters use to assess your borrowing. As a minimum, use those. However, the problem with that is, which ones do you use? That specific mortgage lender might not lend to you. They might have the worst rates in the market, which could cost you thousands. To help with this situation, we do have a mentorship course which provides you with the ability to work out how much you can borrow with 65 plus mortgage lenders in under 1 minute. And more importantly, have access to their rates and a whole section on identifying the right lender for you. For more information, just go to firsttimebuyer.expert.co.uk. You do not have to use a mortgage broker. It's for people who want to apply directly to a mortgage lender and have everything they need in one place. You can, of course, use a mortgage broker and still use us as mentors throughout the process. And for you guys only, if you find me on Instagram at Alex Kerr Mortgage and DM me the word link, you will be provided with a link which gives you a substantial discount on our premium membership, which includes lifetime access and a members only Facebook group where you can get any questions answered throughout your home buying journey. It is so important to know how much you can borrow, who has the best rates, and what mortgage lenders are a right fit for your circumstances. Tip number 3, the agreement in principle. So when should you get one? I have heard mortgage brokers say that you don't need one and that you shouldn't get one before you know the property you are going to buy. I do agree with this statement, however, it is a bit of a catch-22 at the same time, so it makes this situation more difficult. If you get an agreement in principle with a bank and you then start looking at new build properties, for example, unless you've checked that specific criteria, you may find that your mortgage lender doesn't lend to new build properties. Most mortgage lenders will provide mortgages on standard brick and tile properties, but you may come across lots of different types of properties on the market that the mortgage lender you have an agreement in principle with may not lend on. And if you carry out your own credit file checks, you should in theory know if you're going to get accepted before applying. However, the problem now is that a lot of estate agents will want your agreement in principle before you can put in an offer, and sometimes before you can even view properties. So my suggestion would be to obtain an agreement in principle before you start looking for properties, and if you find a standard property such as a brick and tile house or a purpose-built flat, then most lenders are going to lend. However, if anything changes and you find that you are interested in a concrete build property or a timber frame property or new build or a masonette, a Victorian property, a prefabricated property, maybe even pebble dash, there's a whole host of other property types, then I would certainly revisit your agreement in principle and speak to the mortgage lender about this property type and find out if they do lend or they may require a bigger deposit. Most estate agents will take your initial agreement in principle you have, whether you're going to use them or not, as they won't know any different. However, you may have a new task in finding a mortgage lender that will lend on this specific property type. So criteria is very important to check, especially around the three fundamentals: continuous employment history, debt to income ratio, and property type. Tip number 4, prepare mentally. Applying for a mortgage and buying a property is going to be one of the most stressful experiences you face in life, with a lot of anxiety. So in order to manage this, I would try not to get too connected emotionally to the process. It's of course much easier said than done, but there's lots of reasons why it might not work out first time around, and some of that is beyond your control. Even if the mortgage gets accepted, until you exchange contracts, the seller could pull out at any time. So try and stay in the now. Try not to daydream too much about your new life in the new property, because if something does happen, it could hurt a lot more. Just try to stay balanced. There are going to be lots of ups and downs. If you face any mortgage problems, don't panic. Just speak to the mortgage lender, as there are often other ways you can overcome different types of problems. For example, in the previous video we produced, some lenders will lend to you if you take out a 5-year or more fixed rate, for example. So therefore, if you were choosing a 2-year fixed rate and the mortgage lender said they couldn't lend as much as you asked them to, they may be able to lend you more with a 5-year or more fixed rate, or if you extend the mortgage term, as this will make the mortgage more affordable. Just try and have a chat with the mortgage lender first. We do of course help members of our first time buyer expert community overcome any problems during the process through our members only Facebook mentorship group. Tip number 5, the conveyancing process. Okay, the chances are you're going to have problems with your conveyancer. A conveyancer is a property solicitor, and everyone needs one when buying a property. The biggest hurdle you will likely face is poor communication. If this happens and you are 2 or 3 emails in without a response, the next step would be to resend the email to the same person, include the previous emails that have had no response, but this time copy in the partners of the firm. You will always find partners' details on their website. This normally does the trick, and in the unlikely event it doesn't, try and dig out the owners or directors of the company and then copy them in, and all the other parties. In my experience, 99% of the time this will overcome the problem. And if you're still not getting anywhere, then the only other option is to request a change of case handler. We do offer a portal where you can obtain free conveyancing quotes who specialise for first-time buyers, and you can contact us should you have any issues throughout the process. You don't need to be using us as a brokerage. To obtain your free quotes, just click the link in the corner of the screen or in the description below. Tip number 6, consider a home buyer's report when you apply for a mortgage. The mortgage lender will only ever do a basic valuation. This is for their purposes only, and a lot of the time you will not receive any report. They do not check the walls or floors for dampness. They do not check any of the electrics or heating. They do not have a detailed check of the structure. A home buyer's report is a different story. This is a report for your benefit. They will take specialist equipment into the property and measure the walls and floors for dampness, which can be a big problem. If you're buying a property and they've just replastered all of the walls, this would be a big red flag to me. They are possibly trying to cover something up like dampness or rot. A home buyer's report would uncover this. They will also check all of the electrics, the boiler, the heating, to see if anything's been changed or tampered with, and to see if there are any current certificates in place. You will receive a detailed report from a RICS qualified surveyor, which highlights everything they have checked, with a traffic light sort of scoring system, with 1 being in good condition and 4 being in poor condition that needs maintenance. You will receive maintenance estimates at the back of the report. These really can be lifesavers, and if they pick anything up, can help you make a decision whether you want to renegotiate the price or leave the property completely. Overall, they can save thousands and thousands of pounds. Again, we do provide a portal where you can obtain a free home buyer's report quote from RICS qualified surveyors. RICS are the regulators of the industry. Just click the link in the corner of the screen to obtain your free quote, which also includes a free consultation with us to go through the report once you've received it and provide any advice and guidance we see fit. Once you've obtained your home buyer's report, or a full structural report if you are, say, buying a Victorian property, just email your report to alex@mortgagechain.co.uk and request a free consultation, and we will be in touch with you to book that. Today's question: how are you finding the market at the moment with all the changes to affordability? Is it still a seller's market out there? Are properties still going for the asking price or above? Let me know. I would love to know. Mortgage warning. Please note we do need to let you know that your home may be repossessed if you do not keep up with repayments on your mortgage. So thanks for watching today's video. I hope it has provided you with some useful tips. Please check out the show notes for a recap with access to any links discussed today. Please consider subscribing and ringing the bell to receive notifications on our latest videos. I've been Alex Kerr, providing the best tools and tips to first-time buyers. I'll see you in the next one.